It really is just a horrific story. It's almost difficult to talk about, but considering the magnitude of our homeless crisis, I think it is even more important than ever to acknowledge what thousands of our neighbors face every single night while most of us are sitting warm in our beds. See, on Tuesday, a man named Dave died on a sidewalk in Bend. He was homeless. He was a double amputee, and he couldn't get into a shelter. Even though he tried. Now, homeless advocates are worried what happened to Dave will happen again, and in more places. Here's Maggie Vespa.
The morning that I got news of his passing, I cried. We were trying to get him the help that he needed, and it was just too late.
A man died sleeping on a cold sidewalk this week. It happened in Bend, and people there are heartbroken. Many knew Dave and had tried to help. Melody Horner started this GoFundMe page to pay for a hotel room, but she says local hotels wouldn't take him because he didn't have an ID.
It was really tough to leave him there and not have a solution for him.
Dave, a double amputee, was found dead on Tuesday. The cold, windy weather, apparently a key factor. Ask advocates in Bend how this could happen, and they're pretty blunt.
There's limited resources. There's limited bed availability. He was on every wait list possible.
The dire problem of limited resources is one plaguing several communities, including the Portland area. Multnomah County in particular has always touted having enough beds for the area's homeless when severe weather hits. But the pandemic has brought their normally reliable system crumbling to the ground. Cramming people into crowded rooms is no longer an option. And amid historic unemployment, the rate of homelessness appears to be rising.
Because of COVID-19, we cannot guarantee that everyone who needs it will have a shelter on the worst nights of the year.
Late last month, officials sounded an unprecedented alarm, begging the public for, quote, any large open space.
A gymnasium, a cafeteria, a large meeting hall, a ballroom.
And this week, the Columbian reported officials in Clark County are in the same boat, searching for enough severe weather shelter spaces to house everyone living on the streets in and around Vancouver. All the while, temperatures are dropping. And Tuesday, officials' worst fears were realized in Bend with the story of a man dying while he waited for a shelter bed. Thursday, I called the spokesperson for the Joint Office of Homeless Services in Multnomah County.
So we heard Chair Kafoury's pleas and the mayor's pleas and looking for public space. So what is the update?
So there's been a lot of good conversations with some of our public institutions, and we've actually had several dozen leads come through for buildings. So what we're doing now is folks are looking at those. Do they actually fit the criteria that we have set out? Where are they located? Who owns them? What does that look like? And site visits are happening. So
Dennis Thuralt said Portlanders should expect news on that front soon. In Clark County, officials said they're working to find more space too, leaning on churches and motel vouchers as much as possible. Still,
on a cold night, do you think that there will be people that are still in need of shelter who can't get it?
Probably.
All right, a couple of resources here for people who want to help. In Multnomah County, to donate items, either in person or just buy them online via an Amazon shopping list, you can head to 211info.org/donations. In Clark County, to donate warm clothing, sleeping bags, socks, and so on, you can visit the Council for the Homeless Housing Solutions Center. That address is there on Andreessen Road. You can drop things off 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And Dan, per usual, we'll have all that info at KGW.com for people.
Just for a second, speaking of helping, so many people, we got tons of feedback after your story yesterday. A lot of people were moved by that. It was Veterans Day, of course, and you focused on homeless veterans. And I want to read one of the tweets that we got. A viewer wrote, "This story broke my heart. I guess many average folks like me are wondering how to help." So do you have any advice for people who are wondering that same thing right now?
I know, that tweet was just wonderful to see. Yes, 100%. And you might have seen Transition Projects, the group that we were following yesterday, actually responded to that viewer on Twitter. It was awesome. And they responded with this website. It's tprojects.org, like Transition Projects, tprojects.org. That's where you can go also to donate items, to volunteer, to help those veterans. I should point out, it's also where you can go to sign up to help run local shelters this winter. The county told me they're desperately in need of more volunteers to help run those shelters as well. And then, Dan, I also want to point out, we also got an email from one of our viewers asking about one of the veterans in our piece in particular last night, Kurt, the Army veteran. You might remember in our piece, he told us that his support dog had passed away this year, and one of our viewers wanted to know if she could help get him a new dog. That was one of the sweetest things I'd ever seen come into our email, and I wrote her back, and I just want to tell everybody, in case they're also wondering, I asked Kurt about getting a new dog, and he said he's just not emotionally there yet. He's not sure if he's ever going to get one, but at least definitely not right now. But, you know, you and I know this. Our viewers are incredible, and that email was just further proof of it. So thank you to all of our viewers who watched and wrote in last night. That was so sweet.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Maggie, thank you.